Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome to part one of this brand new series. We're going to be talking about buying and selling. And I've put buying first because even though you might be like, well, unless I sell, Nikki, I can't buy things. I get that totally. But what I want you to do is a self-reflective exercise where you dive in deep as to how you like to do things. And I think sometimes we can do it the other way around, where we follow a script or we have a one-to-one with a sales expert or any of those sorts of things. And we completely ignore our own instincts or the things that we know to be true or the things that we like. And we forget to sprinkle all of those elements in. Doing it this way around, thinking about how you buy first, will help you to sell more because you have a case study then yourself. So if you have bought something in particular, even if you're the only person that you know can be in this conversation, that is the data of one person. So you know it works. So let's start with you. 3 very quick things to come back to again and again as we go through this 5-part process. How do you feel? How do you feel every step of the way? I want you to tune into your body because even though I am a trained actor and was trained how to embody a character, how to bring truth to the situation, I know not many people have that skill because why would you in everyday life unless you've trained as an actor? So it has to feel good. And so every step of the way, whenever you get is this the right thing to do? Or is this what you would recommend? Or have I said the right thing? Instead of doing that external validation or feedback loop, go back to yourself. How does this feel? Does this feel good? Is there a way that this could maybe feel better? When you're in that rhythm, it will give you much more opportunity to tweak and also to be able to tweak something that you can control. The trends, the markets, the next big thing, it's always going to change. But how you feel is probably not, or it's much easier to tweak along the way. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, how can you make this more effortless? And already you might be thinking, what, sales is not effortless, Nikki? Like, I've got to speak to people, I've got to get the payment system, I've got to do all of the things, and I get that. But I think sometimes we can overcomplicate everything. I know that I can. I'm going to do this, I'm going to add in this, and sometimes I click into that mode of overcomplicating when, hello, welcome to my therapy session, when I maybe feel a bit fearful. I know that I do that the first few weeks, the first few months, the first few years when I had a child and we went away or we went out for a long day. I literally took a donkey load of stuff because I was so worried I wouldn't have the right thing and and I overcomplicated it. So whenever I had to stop in a public toilet, I had to take everything out to get to the thing that I wanted. And I think that can be the case in business sometimes, especially if we're just starting or if we're doing something new. So really be careful about overcomplicating and see where you can, if you can bring ease and flow and simplicity to it. Your client will thank you. The third thing I want you to consider is the long-term and the short-term benefits, because most things that we buy are going to fall into both camps. And these may be very tiny incremental shifts. We may not even notice them. We may not reap those rewards till later on. And certainly those rewards, when they come, they may not be jumping around saying, hi, oh my goodness, you did it. This happened. Diet, for example. We try and get our children to eat a really good diet, and you want to say all those positive things about eating food and making good choices. And I try and use things in the short term of you're going to have great energy, you're going to have great focus, you're going to be able to run really fast, all of those things. But also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about that longevity of building really strong adult people as well, which is quite bizarre to think when you're sitting with a 3-year-old. But the fact that I'm giving my kids, I don't know, berries, for example, I know that they're really got really great health benefits. I'm not a doctor, as you can see. But those berries are probably going to never, come and knock on my door and say, oh, by the way, this was really helpful in doing X, Y, and Z. But we know the long-term benefits. And I think when we think about this in terms of selling, we have to know what those long-term and short-term benefits are. But don't worry, if you're not sure immediately, we're going to go into it today. Let's get into it. Okay, number 1, I want you to think about things that, or experiences, or products, or services, or stuff that you have recently paid for. And I want you to come up with maybe 3 to 5 examples. And these are going to be your examples over the next 5 parts. So you're going to want to choose things that feel like needed some discernment or needed a certain type of decision making from you. Or maybe it doesn't even have to be that deep. Maybe you always buy the same packet of strawberries from that one particular supermarket, but there's a reason behind it. Basically, I want you to choose 3 to 5 things that are purposeful purchases. That's what it is. Purposeful purchases. They're not just like something you just picked up in the garage because you were getting petrol and you were a bit hungry. I want you to think about those things that maybe you buy really frequently, or maybe something that you saved up for and it was a really big purchase. Maybe it was something that you had been thinking about for ages and it had been a whole plan and a vision board and you finally got to purchase that thing. 3 to 5 is going to be really great. So first and foremost, the word that I want to give you is creation. And I believe that everything, this is fact, but everything that we buy, that we purchase, that we consume has been created. Because what can happen also is when we are selling, we may just quickly brush something off as like, I don't know what to charge. I'm just like giving them an hour of my time. It's just like a one-on-one session for an hour. I don't know what I should charge. I don't know, what should I charge for an hour? And we forget this whole creation experience. So one of the examples that I'm going to be giving you here is a holiday that I went on, and it's quite an old example, but there's lots of emotion in this as well. So the Body Holiday is a wellness resort in St. Lucia. And you can go ahead and Google it and read a little bit more about it because it might help in this process as well. But when I think about what went into creating that situation, so I've been twice. I went in 2013 and 2015, and I know people who have gone since as well. When I think about the creative process that took for somebody to design it, pay for it, build it, pull it all together, market it, it's huge. And it's a really, really beautiful layout. It's really well thought through. Basically every corner is Instagrammable, even though I wasn't really Instagramming in 2015. But it really gave me some food for thought when I was thinking about that creation and how they wanted the beach to be near this I mean, they couldn't move the beach, obviously. The beach was there already. But why they put a certain restaurant there, or the fact that they put this bandstand here. So when you walk down in the evening after having your shower and getting ready for the night ahead, you walk past this band which is playing on the bandstand, and it just creates this lovely atmosphere. And it becomes also part of that ritual of coming out for the evening. When I think about that, I think about all the creative details that have gone into play. So I want you now, after you've done this exercise of the 3 to 5 things that you've been thinking about and considering, what has been the creation process for you to get to where you are with your products or your services? And so what we want to do is move away from this kind of brushing off of like, oh, it's just an hour of my time. And instead, really think about all of the things that went into you creating this project, this service, this offering, this program, this workshop, whatever it might be. And I want you to write a big free-flowing list about all of the steps that you took to get here. And I want you to go, and I'm going to be a bit bold here, I want you to go for about 100. And I want you to write them all down, like completely unedited, scribble away and see what you can do. So put things like, I retrained, I had to take a pay cut, I read 10 books about the topic, I did that course where it was an all-day workshop, I asked my mum's sister for advice, I studied how to do X, Y, and Z, I invested in this other skill set because I didn't know how to do it, I learned via YouTube these skills. Keep writing them down and really acknowledge all of the things that you have actively done. The second phase to this is to really notice what it's taken for you, maybe mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to do the thing. So when I think about coaching, when I think about my particular offerings and creating an income pie, I know how valuable that is in order to help people to do, because I've done it myself. I have created my own income pie for nearly 25 years. And by doing this and working this out, it has meant so much greatness for my life. And I'm not saying greatness is like, I am the greatness. What I'm talking about is I am getting closer to my version of success that feels really good. So for example, having my own income pie, creating passive income, allowed me to be at home with my children before they went to school. Great. That was my kind of version of what I wanted to do. So I want you to really imagine the whole creation of your product and service. And I almost want you to feel like you're stretching it, you're looking at it, you're seeing the different shape of it, and really enjoying that process of what it took for you to create this thing. And the desired result, I guess, is for you then to step back and go, wow, gosh, yes, this wasn't something I just pulled out overnight and dashed together or thought, yeah, whatever, I don't really care, I'll just throw something together. What I hope you'll find is you go, oh my goodness, look how knowledgeable I am, look how skilled I am, look at my skill set. Look at how many different elements I can offer here. Look at this holistic approach. And then maybe you might start thinking, this is way too cheap. This is way too cheap for what it is that I'm offering. Or maybe you might say, I need to tweak this business model because I'm repeating myself the whole thing. And actually, this isn't a one-to-one service. It needs to be an online course, whatever that thing might be. Give yourself that gift today of going into the detail of the exercise. If you want to go deeper, if you are ready, then say, yes, please, Nicky, come on over to the money section of my website. You can read all about my pricing and packaging course, which will walk you through all of this, how to go into detail in terms of creating your own business model and your life model as well, working on your personality, your circumstances, your goals, and making it feel really good for you. That's it for today. It's been a big, chunky, juicy one. I hope you got lots from it. I will see you tomorrow for part 2. Until then, have a great night. Do the work, and I'll see you then. Bye.